are back on Game Time. 10 years ago today, LeBron James playing in his first finals game ever. James struggled against the Spurs defense. 4 of 16 from the field, only 14 points in 44 minutes. Spurs won 85-76. Tony Parker, on his way to being named Finals MVP, scored 27. San Antonio went on to sweep the Cavaliers. And we are back at Gateway Plaza. Vince Cellini alongside my colleague Sekou Smith from the NBA Hang Time podcast and also the Hang Time blog. Just NBA anything, he's with it. Sekou, before we get a chance to talk, we're going to talk LeBron and KD. I want everybody to hear LeBron from earlier today. He was asked if he was tired at this point of the finals.
I look tired?
I don't know, people
that
to me when, that's the question I've been answering.
I feel great. I'm averaging a triple-double in the finals. I'm pretty good, I would think.
It's been interesting with LeBron. He's had a little back and forth with the media, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been a little testy with us. But, I think that's part of being on this stage for the 7th straight year. He's been doing this for so long, Vince. He's heard every question, given every answer. What more are you going to do? And, of course, he's not tired. He's LeBron James. He comes out here and performs every time. Win or lose, he's going to leave his imprint on this series.
It's interesting. Before the series began, there was a lot of talk about Kevin Durant having the pressure on him. I think he's coping with the pressure pretty well, don't you?
Listen, I think being away from this stage for 5 years left a hunger in Kevin Durant that nobody really realized until he got here. He's playing like a guy who wants to not only win his first championship, but win a Finals MVP. And think about it. Everybody else in this series, all the other principals in this series, win or lose, they walk away. They got a ring at home, except for Kevin Durant. He's the one guy playing with motivation that nobody else is in this series in terms of needing to win that first championship to establish his legacy.
It's been a dream start for him for sure. The Cavaliers come home now, Sekou. What about some of the other guys contributing? Do you expect a better effort through the roster for Cleveland?
You have to play better. If you're Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, Kyle Korver, Darren Williams, you got to show up. You got to play better tonight to take some of that pressure off of LeBron, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love. You got to show up the way the Warriors role players showed up at Oracle.
Before I let you go, what's your gut feeling tonight?
Listen, I think this is the Waterloo game for the Cavaliers. If you don't win this one, I don't know how you expect to get out of here on Friday night. You got to get this one tonight to make sure this thing goes back to the Bay Area and you give yourself a chance to pull off another miracle.
Couldn't agree more. We're out here at Gateway Plaza, back inside where the music is not so loud, Matt.
All right, Vince, thank you very much. A Waterloo game, Sekou thinks, for the Cavaliers tonight.
You know what's interesting? I've been watching all these talking heads the last couple of days talk about what's going on with Kevin Durant. That's just very simple. Kevin Durant, I'm not the greatest player as Kevin Durant, but it reminded me when I got traded to Phoenix. The only difference is when you have all that help, the game is just so much easier. Like when I was in Philly, I was a much better player in Philly, much better. But when I got to Phoenix and they gave me Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, Ced Ceballos, Mark West, those guys, that was like Christmas for me. Because when you're passing the ball to bums, it ain't fun. But I'm passing that ball to Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson going the other way, it just freed me up.
Not only that.
And that's all it's done to Kevin Durant these first couple games. The game is easier when you're a great player. But when you play with more help, it gets easier.
Not only that, they have 2 guys that demand a double and 4 guys that you have to pay attention to. So, when you have that much, people being conscious about you when you run your offense, there's going to be a lot of room to get open. A lot of times when Steph comes off, he's getting double. You swing the ball like they swing, and, you're going to be the recipient of a lot of open shots.
Meanwhile, 5 blocks, C-Web, for Kevin Durant in Game 2. He's been their best shot blocker all season.
I love talking to Chuck and Shaq before and after the season to kind of see what's going to be said next year and us to talk. And I just got a quick question. I said this, Chuck, and y'all disagree or agree. If we're talking about Draymond Green being one of the Defensive Player of the Year candidates, I said that I believe that the way Durant has played this year, we're going to talk about him as one of the best two-way players. What do y'all think?
Well, because that goes back to the point I was making. When he was in Oklahoma City, when you don't have, you have to do everything.
Yeah.
You have to make the big shot. You have to make the pass. You have to get every rebound. So certain parts of your game do suffer. And now that he doesn't have to score 30 a night, he's a better defender. And like I say, playing with all those other guys, playing with Steph and Clay, and just freed him up emotionally. Because like I say, you guys been great players, and we all been on good teams and bad teams. Sometimes when you're on a bad team, man, getting 30 a night is like working in the steel mills. And then when you get a Kobe Bryant or a Blotty or a Pager and you get less points, the game is just so easy for you.
I know you ain't say Blotty Debo. You should have said Jason Williams before Blotty.
Still.
That's my guy. What's up, Blotty?
Yeah, but man, I tell people, man, it's so when you're a great player on a bad team, and Oklahoma City wasn't a bad team. They probably were the best team in the NBA last year. When you start getting help, it just frees you up emotionally, and you're able to concentrate on everything. I started becoming a better rebounder in Phoenix because I could take. I'm not involved in this play.
Wow.
It's going for Kevin Johnson. It's going to Dan Marley.
You were a better rebounder in Phoenix than you were in?
I had more.
The way
I did it.
Okay.
I could concentrate more on rebounding because I didn't have to get. Because, sometimes you think, I got to score.
Yeah.
I got to score. Yeah. And because obviously the last 5 minutes, they're going to give you the ball pretty much every time. But on this team with Kevin, Steph play. It's Clay play.
See, we have to answer your question. Kevin Durant is kind of in the situation that me and you were in. We came in, we did our thing, but Mike, Malone, Barkley. As long as LeBron is still in the league, everybody's going to be number 2, number 3. LeBron's still the best player in the world. KD is number 2, number 3. My second best player is Kawhi Leonard. I think he's the second best player. But to answer your question, he's always been a great player. He's always been a great scorer. But now he's on a great team. It looks easy. And if they win this, he'll probably get the Finals MVP. But he's going to be stuck behind LeBron James as long as LeBron is in the league.
He seems well on his way at this point. Only 2 games into the finals, but he put up numbers that no one has ever put up in an NBA Finals game in Game 2, and we will